Go live.
Boom, boom. Dun, dun, dun. See who gets up on here. Let's Get Reels live, y'all. Who's out there? I probably shouldn't yell. Get this microphone. Use the new equipment today. Boom. All right, what's up, everybody? We are back again, episode 11. Going slowly, but it's going steady. Today we got Russ Stewart here with us today. Go ahead and tell me about yourself, my friend.
Shit, man. We've known each other for quite some time, but
Oh yeah.
man, I got hooked on that addiction of all
Everything.
sorts of things, man, for a long time. Was married and got divorced and lost my kids, and they basically were like, yeah, you know, you kind of got to be a dirtbag to get your kids back. And so I became a dirtbag for a long time, you know.
Right. We've all been there.
I was low, man. I was so low. I didn't think I could ever get that low. I mean, I sold from my family, my friends, you name it, just to get that fix, man. And then I get back to work and fuck a job off, you know. Yep. And yeah, I was just a real low life for a long time. So.
And you're not alone. There's so many other people that do it. I'm one of the worst of the worst. And to see someone else who was the worst of the worst sitting next to another person worst of the worst, and we all congregate together. Right. We all have been there. We've seen hell. Right. We've been where Satan has put us, and we've seen the lowest of the lowest, and that's kind of like what gives us that strong vibe to push up out of it. It's our way of life. I mean, everything you went through for a reason. Yep. I mean,
truthfully, I mean, everybody asked me, hey, would you go back and change anything? And I said, no, absolutely not, because it's maybe the person that I am today, you know. Right. And the most gangster shit I've ever done is turn my life around and be a father to my kids and a good husband to my wife and raise 6 other kids with her. And, you know, we got 14 between the two of us. Yeah. So, I mean, we got a little army.
And you got someone to work hard for and, you know, give them the life that you kind of stood away from, or maybe you chose not to have the life that you wanted growing up, whatever it be, your family, your parents' fault, or whatever it might be. But right now it's up to you to control what you're doing, and it's awesome. I mean, you are kicking ass out there. You are. You. His wife's here. She don't want to be on camera.
Yeah, she don't want to be on camera. She ain't the camera person. Everybody knows that. But, you know, I came from a good life, man. I came from a really structural family. And losing my brother at 18 years old, he was my best friend, you know, and I went downhill after that. I straight up went downhill after that. I was looking for, love in all the wrong places, you know. I was out there just experimenting with things and doing things I shouldn't have been doing, and got myself into some trouble, and, you know, in and out of Jackson County Jail quite a few times, and running from the work center and
Jackson County Hotel.
You know, it's one of those things. And then I got the blessing of doing drug court, and Judge Crane was actually going to release me on my court date. And first I went in there, and she looked at me and she goes, I'm going to send you to prison, back where you belong. And I was like, I've never been to prison. And she was like, wait, what? And she looked at the papers and all that stuff, and she goes, I'm going to put this off till next week. She goes, go do something with your hair. It's out of control. I don't even want to look at you right now. And I think I was weighing like maybe 140 pounds. Right. And I had a mohawk, and it was out of control. And so I went back into the jail, and I ended up shaving my head and went back in and seen her. And she said that she was going to release me on my own OR and to get into inpatient treatment. And I was going to start the drug court program. And I just looked at her and I said, if you release me on the streets today, I have nowhere to go. I burned all my bridges. I had nothing. I would have got out, and I would have went right back to putting a needle in my neck. And you know, it's one of those things. I literally begged her to keep me in the Jackson County Jail, and she said, well, we can't do that, but we'll put you out at the work center. All right. So I was out at the work center for 7 months. 7 months I was out at the work center, and I got certified for wildland firefighting, and you know, I was out on some fires and did some things in there, and then got out and successfully completed drug court. Never had a dirty UA, nothing. And I mean, it was hard. It was hard. I'm not going to say it was easy.
It's never easy.
It was the hardest year and a half of drug court, you know. Not smoking pot, not drinking, not going out to the clubs, you know, not going out and chasing that bag.
The life you knew. The only life you knew.
That's what I knew for a long time, you know. And 2007 was the last time I was incarcerated, you know. So that's a long time.
Years.
You know. So I just and I made mistakes after drug court too, you know. I thought I was okay. I got complacent, you know, and hung out with some people and stuff and said no a few times, and then a few times later it was, yeah, fuck it, you know, let's get loaded.
Right.
And I did, you know, and I almost lost everything again, and I pulled myself out of that hole real quick and realized that this isn't what I want, man. And I'm not going to say I'm perfect. I've had slip ups since then, you know. And today, though, I'm running this very successful business. I mean, we've only been in business going on our second year, and it was rough our first year.
Beautiful work. You guys should check out the pictures.
We've had, go follow R&K's Concrete Mafia on Facebook if you want to. Give us all the support. It's people that just follow us and share our stuff, man, that help us out. You know, we're a small family-owned business. My dad, he's been in the trade for 50 years. My grandpa did it. My little brother does it. He works for me. My son works for me. My cousin. The wife runs the business. I'm just the brains behind the operation and come up with the really cool ideas. And
he's the one on his knees all day long.
Yeah. I'm on my knees getting paid like a high dollar whore. I mean, we're keeping it real, right?
Yeah, this is Let's Get Real. There's no topic off topic. You know, we're gonna keep it real. And you guys hear his story. It's probably similar to a lot of you guys watching. And I see that Nick McNamara is watching. He's one of the counselors at On Track. Anyways, he said there's the getting clean part, and then there's the life part.
Yep.
Learning how to do life, being clean, without the mess ups, the ins and outs. So I appreciate you, Nick, for supporting and tuning in and watching us, and also teaching me that golden thing.
Man, I haven't seen Nick in years.
Yeah.
And I know Nick remembers me. I mean,
he's watching right now.
Yeah, I'm no longer a dirtbag. So
we're all low key on something. We all are still working on ourselves. We're still doing all kinds of stuff. We've lived it. There's years and years behind us. We're in our 40s. We've lived experiences, ups, downs, lefts, rights, everything. And that's what this is about. I want to make this the #1 peer support platform where you don't need no degrees to tell somebody how to live a different life.
Yeah,
it's up to you to live the life you want, but we're going to give you options and choices and ideas and thoughts to push you closer in that direction that you want to be. So tell me about the business. What's your plan with the business?
Man, I'm trying to grow an empire. I said it 15 years ago that I started telling everybody I was going to name my company Concrete Mafia. People laughed. They were like, "Why are you going to name it that?" I said, "Because we don't follow the rules.
Right.
We kind of do things our own way." And that's how it is. And I crack comments all the time. You know, people are like, "Yeah, the day is really cool," you know, and then people are like, "Oh, blah, 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 blah." Well, remember, they didn't find Jimmy Hoffa. You know what I mean? So I crack jokes like that all the time. You know, it's one of those deals, you know, where
he's in someone's sidewalk somewhere.
Yeah, he's in the desert. So anyways, we started this up, you know, not sure if we were ready for it or whatever. And KO went out and took the test and passed it with flying colors, and tried calling me and telling me that she failed and everything else, and I knew that was a lie because she's not a failure. Anything she puts her mind to, she's amazing with. She's a great mom, great help with the business. I mean, I don't give her enough credit. She does a lot. She does all the paperwork, make sure bills are paid, all that stuff, when I just have to deal with the customers and all that. But it's one of those things, man. I'm trying to build an empire for my family. I'm trying to build an empire for my brother, my kids, you know, the ones that want to work and actually be in the trade. I'm cool with it. I used to say my kids never finish concrete. They'll never be on their knees scrubbing their ass off out there in the heat. I want them to get a college education, but do you really need a college education to succeed with anything?
College puts you in debt.
You know, not.
I've learned that personally.
Yeah, yeah. You know,
find a trade. Find something that, you know, it's going to give you a steady income. You know, that's why it's good teaching these kids young. To figure it out. And one of the biggest things, you're moving in a positive direction.
Yeah. And
those who you choose to have in your life, like your wife and whoever you have in your focus, is going to help you get there.
Right.
Because it's hard doing it by yourself. And I can say I can do all this by myself, but my wife is the brains behind all this. I wanted to give up 50 times before I ever started. She's like, keep going, keep going. So it's good that we have that positive influence in our life that pushes
100%.
us.
100%.
So give props to you all that, you know, keep pushing us to do what we want to do. And it's just how we live it.
You know, I never thought I was even going to be this far in my life, you know. I'd look at one day and be like, tomorrow's never promised, and it's still never promised.
Nope.
But the things I've been doing in life and raising the kids and everything else and putting in late hours, I figure if I could go out and put in late hours running and gunning and doing stupid shit, I can put in late hours to learn how to run a successful business. I mean, we're still learning new things. I've been a foreman for years for different companies and ran crews and did jobs and all that, but it's different when you have to do your own bookwork and your own taxes and all that stuff. And I'm not even the one that has to do it. It's my wife, but she gets frustrated, and I'm there for her. Like, everything's going to be okay. We almost didn't make it through our first year in business.
Right.
You know, and they say if you make it through your first and second year, you're going to make it. Well, we're going on our second year. And
this is our second year with the entertainment business and the podcast. And last year I was like, nobody cares.
Right.
Now this year, 500 people care.
Right.
I was like, okay. So yeah, it's good.
And we put all of our eggs in one basket last year. You know, I turned away a bunch of stuff. We weren't advertising. I figured I'd just do Facebook and word of mouth and stuff like that. And it worked a little bit here and there. But now we're advertising. We're a sponsor out there at the Drift Track in White City. We just went out there a week ago and poured some concrete out there. And it was given back to the community. I didn't ask for anything. We paid our crew, and we went out there and helped them make their track better so that people can go out there and have a good time, you know. And it's one of those things. When I can give back, I will. And then there's sometimes that I just can't. But we're doing sponsorships and all kinds of different things. So it's pretty cool to be able to say, yeah, we can do that, you know, or hey, hit us up next month. We'll be able to do it next month.
Yeah, I didn't think that we'd be able to do it either, but, you know, I just did it once, then I did it twice. We sponsor a softball team and an adult men's league. And so I didn't think we would be able to do it. But, you know, here, 100 there, pay for this tournament, pay for the uniforms, whatever it took, you know, to get, you know, and we get a little bit of advertisement out of it, but we're also helping the community grow.
Right.
That's, you know, we're just giving back what little we have and give it back. It's kind of like a recycling thing. It's all reciprocated. It's awesome. I enjoy it.
Yep.
I don't know how it works, but it just works.
Shit, man, I even got a driver's license after 20 years.
There you go.
You know, there's no more riding dirty.
No more riding dirty, except for dirty from work.
Yeah, yeah. You know, I can even ride my motorcycle legally, you know.
Yeah, you said you're going to pop over on the bike. I'm like, well, it's raining. Maybe he won't.
Well, I was going to. I was going to ride, but KO decided she wanted to come with me, and her bike's down right now. And the chopper's more for those sunny days. It throws water all up your back because it's got that bobbed fender on it and stuff. But it's crazy, man. You know, I went from running around with a backpack.
Yep.
You know, what was in my backpack is what I owned, unless I went and jacked something or had money to buy something or whatever. And now we own like 6 cars and 5 motorcycles, and there's dirt bikes in the garage and quads. And
why do you think that is?
Man, because I'm just I'm working for it.
You're working for it. The drive is there.
God's good. That's what I got to say. You know what I mean?
There you go. God wins.
And it's one of those things. I don't go to church. I mean, we've gone once, I think, since we've been together.
Church is bigger than the rooms, man.
But
church is bigger than the 4 walls.
You know, we believe in God.
This is church. This is fellowship.
Yeah.
This is how you do it. This is our ministry. This is how we give back. This is how we show everybody what we're doing.
Right.
I mean, if you didn't go through everything that you went through, all your life. That's why I wouldn't change it, and that's probably exactly why you won't change it.
Right.
You wouldn't be who you are right now.
And that's
you
the
wouldn't
truth.
have the drive, the work ethic, the power to know that your kids are going to eat tonight.
Yeah. I'm determined, man. You know, like I said, if I was determined enough to go out and get a fix, you know, and get loaded back then,
Yeah.
I got to be determined today to be able to take care of my kids and provide for them and provide for my wife. And even if my other family members need it or friends need it, you know, there's times where I don't have money, but I have money, but I don't have money.
Right.
But I give that money to somebody else because I know they need it.
Right.
You know, and I'll go without, you know, and that's one of those things. And there's been times where last year, our business truthfully wouldn't be where it's at today without a couple of friends we have.
Right.
You know, because they loaned us money to stay floating.
Right.
You know, and now it's pay back, you know, and then, oh, we got to pay this person too, you know, so we're still not out of the hole yet. I mean, honestly, we went $180,000 backwards our first year in business.
Wow.
You know, and I think we're down to like 40 grand, I think, that we owe.
Wow.
You know, out of $180,000.
Baby steps.
You know,
so and you're building it, and business is still coming in.
And I'm not out robbing people to do it, man.
No.
You know, I'm doing it all legit.
Yeah.
So
I can attest to this. I know this guy for, I don't know, probably 15 years.
Yeah.
It's the life that we've had, like I said, has molded where we are. You know, he's driving towards his goals of being set, and then he's setting his family, he's setting an example for his family. And that's another reason why we like to talk about this kind of stuff on the podcast, is because you out there who are thinking about starting a business or starting something and thinking that you're not worth it or you're not good enough, check it out. You don't have to be good. You just got to have the drive to want it.
Yeah, you got to have that determination, man. You got to, you know, if you were, like I said, if you were determined to go out and get loaded and do stupid shit, you could be determined enough to go out and get your life straight. And,
most definitely.
You know.
What's up, Chris Cunningham? There, Rogue Patriot Apparel.
Yeah.
We see you watching. He says, "Sup, brothers."
Chris is one solid dude.
He's short, but he's solid.
Yeah.
I love him. He was in our wedding. He's a good dude.
Yeah.
He donated all this foam in here. Boop, boop, boop. So this came from his recording studio, which is awesome. But the light, you said, we'll go back to this. You didn't want to change everything that happened to you. Why do you think, what happened to you, if you want to share, that directed you to be messing up in the streets and doing bad stuff? That makes sense.
I don't really know what directed me, but I know losing my brother, I still haven't grieved that.
Right.
He was my best friend, and there's not a day that goes by that I don't think about him. You know, he was my brother. He was a dad. You know, I'd get in trouble all the time, and he'd stick up for me. And losing him, he was born with a kidney disease, and they told him that his kidneys would only last him 2 years after his transplant, and they lasted him 19 years.
Wow.
And then it was just the medication they had him on. They had him on prednisone and a couple other things. And I mean, he was on a lot of medication, but after time, it just destroyed his body. You know, and he was
killed my dad. He was on it for 11 years.
Yeah, he was 5'6", and when he passed away, he was like 4'4", 4'5", somewhere there. I could literally pick him up with one arm and sponge bathe him. You know,
wow.
And
he'd lose his legs.
No, he just couldn't walk anymore. Every time he'd take a step, his pelvic would break because the calcium, like
the prednisone eats it.
It eats away everything, you know. And they told him it was just too far along. He was on dialysis for a long time, and I started turning down a different path, and you know, my mom, she couldn't really control me, and she had sent me out to Georgia for a while, and I lived with my brother that was in the military and all that, and did Job Corps back there in Brunswick, and I came back and did my brother's wedding and all that, and then he ended up passing away, and it hit me in a way that I mean, it hits a lot of people
different ways,
but
took me 2 years to grieve my dad's death, to even cry about it.
Yeah, and it's one of those things that I felt I wasn't worth it. You know, I really didn't want to live anymore. I felt I didn't have a purpose, and so I started off, smoking dope and running around and doing stupid things. And then after a while, smoking it and snorting it wouldn't do anything for me. So, of course, what do? You turn to that needle, and it opened up a whole different person in me. I mean, I was a straight up just demon,
That's what it does. It twists the mind to
it's Satan, man.
And your problems are still there.
They're 100% worse than what they were before.
Right.
You just don't realize it. You're so high, but all those thoughts are still racing through your mind. They're just racing through your mind 100 times faster. So it's almost like skipping heartbeats.
Yep.
You're not picking up the receptors and knowing what you're actually supposed to be doing. You're dead. You're numb.
And with the meth and the speed or whatever you want to call it, it speeds you through your day, gets you. I mean, the first day is kind of cool. Then the next day, like I said, your problems are still there. You don't know what you're doing next. You don't know. You actually have no goal set forth in your life of what you're doing. I mean, you can ask anybody on the stuff what their plan is. Try to follow. It ain't gonna happen.
Yeah.
It's just it's a wicked way that we choose to use, and it just steals and destroys everything. And your problems are still there. So working along with your brother's death and all that kind of stuff, and you haven't grieved on it, but you have found other ways to better your life. You have any other good hobbies that you do outside of working?
I ride. That gives me my peace of mind. I get stressed out. I have a bad day, whatever. I have to go open up my garage door and go, eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Like, which one do I want to go on?
Yeah.
And get on the bike and go out. And it's a good stress relief for me. But hobby-wise, I mean, I don't really have any hobbies anymore. My goal is to start doing some concrete carving in the garage and step up our game on some other things. There's some big stuff we have in store on a few jobs coming up that are going to be pretty cool. But it's mainly just devoting my time, and I'll get on and research stuff. She'll think I'm on Facebook, and I'll be actually on my phone researching different ways on concrete carving and different techniques. I've done classes for Smith's color stains and acids and all kinds of stuff like that. And
He's online doing acid. Don't trip.
Yeah. It's real colorful. I mean, it gets real colorful. So, and I've even been able to teach my wife, and I've been able to teach my son. And our daughter Kalani, she'll go out and she'll want to get in on the staining and stuff like that. But I've taught them what I know, and now she's actually doing her own color blends and making her own colors.
Look at that
for
ripple
certain
effect
things.
you're
So
creating, man.
it's pretty cool. This is my dream. It's not hers.
But you're finding ways to connect with your family, and they're finding the other interests that they didn't think they even had.
Yeah,
it's cool.
Yeah.
I mean,
to get her out there to come out there on a hot day, there's no comfortable position to do a lot of this stuff. And she comes out, she doesn't bitch and moan or anything. She just comes out and then she's like, "Ha ha, I got paid," But it's cool, man, because she supports me 110% on whatever I decide to do. My dreams, she supports me, and she doesn't beat me down and tell me that I'm not gonna be able to do that, or that I'm not gonna amount to shit like some of my other relationships I've been in and everything else. And I chose to believe that when I was in those relationships, because I still wasn't completely clear in my mind on what I wanted. And when me and KO got together, neither one of us were looking for a relationship, and it just ended up, something clicked. She's my yin to the yang, and we're total opposites. I mean, we're so opposite. It's like she has two left feet. She has no rhythm when it comes to dancing, so she stands on my feet, and I'll get out there and glide across the floor with her and make her look good. So, but she's definitely amazing, man. She's pushed me to do things that I was like, I'm not ready to do this yet. And she's all, "You've been ready. You just got to set your mind to it and do it."
My wife tells me the same things. I always tell her, "We'll do it tomorrow, or we'll do it next week." She goes, "Do it today." I was like, "All right, well."
I'll procrastinate, man, and
I do it too.
And
I don't know if it's a man thing or I don't know what it is, but there's I guess maybe the mental capacity that the drugs have just basically just leveled me off.
Right.
The years of doing drugs and the ways I was doing it, I don't want to do it sometimes. I just feel like, no, but it's good to have that strong sense of a person next to you to push you and say, you got the skills to pay these bills. You got the skills to do this and get it done.
Yeah.
Because without that, you probably find other ways to, occupy your time. You created such an impactful ripple effect with everything you're doing right now.
Right.
Teamwork.
Right.
Family. Togetherness. Everything that you're doing together is building the empire that you want. It is. It really is.
And that's it. I want to build one of the largest empires there is here in Southern Oregon. Yeah. And
what's the biggest concrete out there right now? Viking?
I
don't know.
No, I mean the bigger guys like in commercial and stuff like that. But we have, I've been told by a lot of people, we have one of the largest crews right now for just doing residential work.
Right.
Everybody keeps asking me, how do you keep getting all these guys like with experience and stuff? And I'm like, I'm not cheap. I mean, I'm going to be blunt. I am not cheap. I pay my guys what they're worth.
Right.
And I remember for a long time, man, like, oh, we can only pay you $18 an hour, but I'm out there hauling everything on my own truck, putting all the wear and tear on my own vehicles, doing this, doing that. And I try to do the best I can. Like, we own 3 company trucks. So I could tell all the guys, hey, check it out. You're going to ride with me. You're going to ride with me. You're going to drive this one. You're going to drive this one. And then you guys can team up in here. But we try to compensate with fuel or something breaks or whatever, and they're using their truck. I'm not going to be put my guys in that situation that I was put in for a long time.
Right.
I take care of my crew. I take care of everything. And we're going to, I mean, like I said, we went backwards, but we're getting there.
And you will. I mean, I pray for you guys that you will get to where you want to be. And it's just a community coming together and growing with each other and doing that kind of stuff. Do you guys have like a shop location? Or you guys just straight basically? Not
yet. We're hoping, fingers crossed, there's a place that's going to be opening up here pretty soon to be over by the airport.
Yeah.
It's going to be it's a warehouse and everything, but it has a yard, and people will be able to come in and see some of the concrete carving that we're doing. Right. and all that stuff. I'm going to have test samples. There's going to be some test samples in like a week and a half out at Southern Oregon Ready Mix, which is over off of Blackwell.
Awesome.
We'll have some stuff out there. They're going to be really nice and let us do some rock carving and stuff like that out there out of concrete. But it will look like a big boulder, like you just had a landscaper bring in a real rock and set it there, and then you guys are going to go, whoa, that's concrete?
Right.
And it's concrete. It's a 9,500 PSI mix. There's no rock in it. It's all sand, cement. And, I mean, you can make anything you want to. Trees, raccoons.
Yeah, I've seen some of them.
Any of that
garden
stuff.
Gnomes. Ooh,
yeah.
Gnomes.
So, but I have a guy that works for me who owned his own company in Florida, and he's done concrete carving at Disney World. He's been to Dubai. He speaks like 5 different languages.
Wow.
And so this guy's kind of been schooling me on some concrete carving knowledge and stuff like that, because I don't really know anybody here in the valley that does it.
I've seen the wood carvings down out there at the farmers markets and stuff like that, and a lot of people have all these awesome trades and skills.
Right.
I mean, this could be something that you could just carry into your retirement if you want to,
yeah.
Because you won't be able to do concrete forever.
My dad's 69 this year, and he's still out there running circles.
Woo!
So
you never know. That's kind of why I chose this lane, is because I could sit and talk all day. I could Dr. Phil everybody if I wanted to.
Right.
But yeah, just keep your drive along. So the crew you have around you and all that kind of stuff, does that give you a sense of like accomplishment?
Yeah, because it's all my family. It's me and my dad. Even in my addiction, my dad's been there for me. More of an enabler there for a little while,
right.
Just like my mom was too, and they didn't realize it, and then they realized it, and they were like, what the fuck are we doing, but they never put me down, for the places I took myself and the things that I did to them and to the rest of our family and everything else. And then having my little brother out there with me working, that's, it was always my dad's dream to have a concrete company, and it just didn't happen. And so,
it never happened for him?
No, he just worked for people, and so now he's working with me, and he has no filter though. I mean, he's 69 years old. He's been living his life. When you get older, you have I have no filter right now anyways, but I don't think I really ever have.
Right.
But he has 0 fucks given. Like he don't care if it's a homeowner, if it's your grandma, if it's your grandpa. I have to really watch him on jobs,
Right.
you know, because stuff that comes out of his mouth, it embarrasses me because I'm
Right.
like, damn, dude, did my dad really just say that to a homeowner? You know, and it's cool because it's all family owned and operated, you know, and being able to teach my son, my brother already knows what he's doing. There's some new traits and stuff that I'm doing that he hasn't done, so I get to teach him. I get to teach my dad on some cool stuff. But having my firstborn work with me and looking at him and going, shit, that was me when I was his age. I mean, he's a spitting image. And the only thing he hasn't done is go out and do the dirtbag shit like I was doing, you know. And
you see, everybody that's listening, if you're just now joining us, the ripple effect that he's created of a family image that he started off with, where he's kind of breaking out of that, where he said he feels embarrassed the way his dad would talk to a homeowner or something. This is his whole mindset is changing, and he's able to teach these people and that are his family that here's a new way to do life. Do it this way. Don't do it what I did, but here, learn from me what I'm teaching you now. Because as you get older, it sucks that we get wiser as we get older.
yeah,
Because now we're half dead, we're halfway there, or however it is. We never know, but we have the knowledge we can teach our kids now. I don't want to teach my kids how to shoot dope. I don't want to teach my kids how to steal bikes. Hang out in the trap house with the windows closed. I don't want to teach them that.
Right.
And let's get outside. Let's get some sun. Let's go swimming. Let's go fishing. Let's go camping. Let's go do stuff that I let my addiction rob me of.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, it's cool too because our two little ones, True and Allie, if we're getting on the bikes and we're going for a ride, they got home, like they hear the bikes fire up and they know we're going and it's not a long ride. They want to go. And True's 5 and Allie's 7.
Right.
And she rides behind me and True rides behind KO, but we'll get some looks at stoplights that people are like, yeah, that's really bitching. And then we get some other people that are a bunch of Karens that are like, oh my God, do they really have their kids on the back? Fucking yes, we have our kids on the back of the bike.
We're doing life together.
Like this is what we do. And we're teaching them not to be sissified, I guess. You know what I mean?
This generation's, it's a whole, in the last 10 years, this world's gotten weird. It's definitely gotten weird. We can get into it on another episode. We can get into it now. It doesn't matter. But just let you guys know that there's several ways that we grew up. You know, this 80s, late 70s, early 80s babies that we have been raised into a whole new life that these kids today are definitely not keen with. They don't understand it. They don't get it.
A lot of them think that everything should just be handed to them on a silver platter. You know, and that they don't have to work for anything, and
I grew up with a plastic spoon in my mouth.
You know, it's and when we were growing up, it only took one person to pay for everything in a household.
Right.
You know, the moms were usually at home the whole time. Once in a while, they might have like a part-time gig or something like that if you want to do some kind of really cool family vacation or whatever. But it's usually the man in the house. They would go to work and put in anywhere from 8 to 14-hour days. And they do that Monday through Friday, maybe once on a Saturday or something,
right.
You know. And I grew up on one of the largest hog ranches in Eagle Point when I was a kid, and a lot of people don't know that about me. You know, I grew up on a ranch. I'm a country boy,
right?
And people look at me and they're like, "Whoa, this dude listens to country music and shit, sings country music," and I'm like,
"Don't let the tattoos.
Don't let those tattoos fool you, man." I am definitely a redneck. Yeah, but it's crazy, man, because like I was saying, you know. One person would go to work, and now it's both people having to go to work to even be able to pay the bills, and especially
go to work twice.
Especially in the last couple of years with the way the economy is going and everything else. I don't have to say any names; everybody knows who he is.
Still Brandon.
Yeah. So it sucks because we run a business and we have to fill those trucks up sometimes twice a day.
Yeah,
and that shit hits your pocketbook and you don't realize it until you're going, holy shit, I just filled up 4 company vehicles and I just filled them up again today.
Right.
That's over $1,200, you know, by the time it comes down to it.
Before lunch.
Yeah. You know, and people ask me, so what do you do in your spare time? I'm all spare time. Like, really, lately, I haven't really had spare time. I actually
went my $1 bills.
I went to Vegas and see my oldest daughter get married, which was cool. got to hang out with her and my new son-in-law, and my son was there, and got to hang out with my wife and have a little tiny mini vacation away from our 14 kids. So it was kind of nice. It wasn't so chaotic. We actually got to sit down and enjoy each other's company for a little while and lay out by the pool. And
yeah, I've seen that. You guys went on one family trip and then flipped around and went on a
yeah
adjust you and her trip.
Yep. And now we're getting ready to go on another family trip though.
And why is that?
Because I
life change.
Yeah.
Changing life, changing the path of your direction of what you're doing.
Yep.
It can happen, man. You don't have to be rich to go do all this fun stuff with your family. It doesn't take nothing except for the drive and the want.
Save a little bit of money and
do it, man.
And go and do it.
I never thought I'd go to Hawaii. When I got married to my wife, we went to Hawaii. I'm like, we're really going? And she's like, yeah, we're really going. I'm like,
you're like,
what? 14 days? Or it was 10 days, no kids?
Yeah.
In Hawaii? Let's do it.
Well, we're gonna.
Drug addict like me.
You know, I took her to Sturgis. I think she's been to more states since she's been with me. You know, and when I got out of drug court, I had the blessing. A lot of you guys probably know Eddie Yeoman. He doesn't really go into the rooms anymore, but Eddie was a big part of my recovery. You know, and there's a couple other people who are a really big part of my recovery and stuff like that too, and you know that still are. But
I see him all the time.
I got into the monster truck industry with, you know, his brother-in-law owned it, and so I got to have that blessing of going around and getting to travel and experience new things and build tracks and meet really cool people. And you know, I still had that mentality though, you know, like who the fuck are you talking to, you know, mentality.
I have it still too,
and it caused me to not be able to go and do some shows, and you know, it caused me a few other things, and I lost my cool and slapped a couple of people and stuff like that in front of a bunch of fans and everything else. But it was one of those things that I felt that they were slapping me, they just verbally weren't slapping me,
right?
You know, and I've always been that guy that really
pride.
And so I just kind of lost my cool on that, and so I don't do the monster truck thing anymore, which is fine with me. You know, it's less traveling and getting to spend the time with the kids, and now it's taking the kids traveling.
Yeah, you know? it's one of the most fun things about, you know, growing up and becoming an adult and doing adult things is you get to spend time with your family. You get to do things with your wife alone. There's so many different things you can do. We just never realized it. Being dumbs. You know, just being dumb, doing all that kind of stuff that we did. There's nothing. I mean, I wouldn't trade anything I got going on right now for that life again.
100%. 100%. Nope.
It may seem fun, and if you're all out there still stuck in that rut where you don't get it, you don't understand, you don't think there's. Reach out. I'm here. He's here. Our Facebooks are wide open. Whatever it is, it's real important that you guys understand that there's a lot better stuff waiting for you if you just choose.
And it's not just Facebook. My phone number's all over Facebook too with the company. I mean, my phone's always on. You know, and
call and order up a concrete job, and then just talk to him when he gets there.
Yeah, you could be like, hey, I need you to come out and give me a bid. Well, I really didn't need you to give me a bid. I need you to give me some advice on what I'm doing fucking wrong here. And
well, there's the $300 service call.
No, hey, estimates are free. Estimates are free.
That's good.
So it's when the equipment hits the ground. So if I have to pull out equipment to figure out a way to get you out of the hole, you're getting charged.
Peer support's free too.
Yeah.
This is what this platform is about. We want to reach the people who don't feel like they have anybody to listen to them. So you can always just check it out. You can hit that barcode right behind us, letsgetrealpodcast.com, and you can reach out there. There's a mailing list. You can sign up, talk to us, reach out for a request, a prayer request. It's all on the website there. You can check it out and reach us any which way you want. It's awesome. Having fun yet?
Oh yeah, always, man, always.
Anything else you want to share to somebody out there that, you know, just might be getting started or feeling like they want to go?
You know, it's never too late to find a new way to live. I don't do rooms. I don't do meetings. And you don't have to do that to get clean.
You don't.
You know, I'll tell you that straight up because I did it for a while when I was in drug court and stuff like that, thinking that that's what I needed. Okay, I have to be in these rooms. I have to do this. I have to do that. You need to change your playground.
Yep.
And they tell you that and tell you that and tell you that. And until you put that in your mind and you're actually in that mindset, you're never going to change. I mean, there's people out there every day that I pray would change for their kids for themselves, and they're just stuck in that rut. And until you actually want to change, I'm not going to beat around the bush and say you're going to change, because you're not. You have to pull your head from way up inside your guts, out your asshole, slap it back on your shoulders, and say, I'm ready to change.
Let's get real.
You know, and that's what I had to do. Like, I really had to tell myself, I am so done that I'm fucking done. You know, I can't do this anymore. And when you're ready for it, and if you think you're ready for it, you're not ready for it. You'll know when you're ready for it, because you're going to say, I'm fucking done.
Yeah.
And then you're ready. You know, you're ready. And I just want to say to the suffering addicts that are still out there, man, you can change. You can change 5 minutes from now.
It's not going to be easy.
If you put your mind to it, you can change 5 minutes from now. You can literally say, you know what? I just heard something right now that he's real. He's being real about this right now. He's telling us that we can change, but we have to literally and just take your hand and fucking shove it up your ass and pull your head right out and put it back on your shoulders. And I had somebody tell me that just like that, and that's when I realized it. Hey man, they're right. You know, that's what I have to do. And your head might be up on your shoulders, but you gotta every now and then adjust it and make sure that it's screwed on right, because you will slip right back off. And I've done it. I've been there.
No, I've had 90 days clean 90 times.
So yeah, multiple times, man. You know, I'm like, I'm fucking, oh, guess what? Dumb shit, you know, and it's sad. And with all that fentanyl that's going around right now and everything, I mean, they're even lacing weed with it, man. You know, with our, and I'm going to say this as lightly as possible, with our lame ass governor that we have, who's made it easier for everybody to pack around certain quantities, and it's only a misdemeanor. Shit's not cool. It's not cool. But remember, you can go out and you can get Narcan, and you're not going to go to jail. If somebody's ODing that's with you, and you call because you don't have Narcan, you're going to save that person's life. You know, and you're not going to get in trouble for it. And that's where people get scared right now. You know what I mean? And it doesn't matter how far you are into your addiction, you could still help somebody else.
Yeah.
Make that phone call, man. Make that phone call.
I pray to call the cops when that kind of stuff happens.
I pray, yeah. I pray that everybody out there still suffering right now can find that way and change their life. You know, especially if you have kids. You may not think about it right now because I was that person at one time, but you're not beating up yourself. You're beating up your kids, man. You're destroying that thing with your kids. And I still don't have it back with some of my kids yet. You know, I'm still having to prove myself every single day, but I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that. You know, but just remember, you're not just suffering, you're making your kids suffer, you know, and that's hard. That's a hard one to swallow. But
I can relate to that.
Any grown ass man or any grown ass woman that hears this, it's probably going to hit you right now, and you're going to say, "Man, he's right."
And that's exactly why we record this and we distribute it nationwide. And that's exactly why we throw this Facebook Live up there so you guys can see it, feel the emotion, feel what's really going on in our minds as we talk about this kind of stuff, because this is real. This is real life stuff that happens. And it sucks, you know, and we're building this from the ground up. Everything we do, whatever you're working on in your life right now, you're building it. And it's up to you to make that foundation strong.
Shit, I'm willing to come back on 6 months from now and tell you guys where I'm at in 6 months.
Let's do it.
You know, like
do anniversary meetings and
come back on, and then
Let's
maybe
Get Real podcast ain't going anywhere.
Maybe somebody that was on here today hearing this or another episode or whatever. Maybe somebody, it's going to hit somebody.
Yeah,
and we can coordinate and get a few of us in here talking, and maybe it's somebody that we just saved, and they could be in here and be like, man, you know, your story really.
So yeah, if you're out there and you want to, I mean, it doesn't take anything or cost anything to be on this show at all. It doesn't cost. On-air discussions are completely free. You come in here and talk. Tell us your life story, whatever it is on your mind. We'll get it up and we'll talk about it and we will distribute it, and you're going to get some good feedback with it as well. That's the way it is. Justin Workman, who's my last guest, he's like, I'm going to be here for your 100th episode. I'm like, well, thanks for the optimism. That's cool.
Should all be here for the 101. No, 99.
Let's do the 99th episode. We're going to keep this going. So if you have people out there that want to get on the show, whether you're selling something, you're telling a lie, or you're telling a life story, not telling a lie, but, whatever you want to talk about, Let's Get Real wants to hear your story. So go to letsgetrealpodcast.com and fill out the information box down at the very bottom of the page, and we will get in contact with you with ASAP. We're doing this full time now, so this is what we want to do. This is how we want to help people. We want to be that #1 peer support platform for you and for everybody else around you.
Yeah.
I appreciate you being here, man.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Yep, we're going to end this recording here. We're still live, though. Yeah. All right, everybody. I hope you enjoyed Let's Get Real Podcast, episode 11. I'll have this up in a couple days on Spotify, Podchaser, Pocket Addict, all these different outlets I have as well. But Spotify is the #1 most used. It'll also be on YouTube in just a few days. Thank you all for reaching out, and let's get real. It is.